Hey there, guys. So today I woke up and I was pretty spent from the deadlifts yesterday. So at the end of the session last night, I was starting to feel a little bit stiff and sore. Nothing unusual, nothing over the top. But yeah, when I woke up this morning, it's like, wow, I can really feel my mid to lower back in a really good way. But definitely wasn't going to train hard today. So I decided to do a recovery workout instead. I've done these in the past. They help a lot with just, as they suggest, recovery and blood flow. So my goal today was just to achieve as much flexion and extension of the spine, hips, quads, and hamstrings. So, if I go and do that, I'm just going to be pumping a whole lot of blood to the tissue, and that's just going to help it, one, recover faster, but two, I'll gain some of my mobility back. I won't be as stiff or as sore. So I just did some really basic stuff, kept the weight ridiculously light because I couldn't afford to make any further inroads in terms of recovery. So I just did glute kickbacks, sets of 25 each leg. From that, I then did a set of front squats, just 70 kilos, 20 reps, just to get the heart going, and the rest of it pumped a whole lot of blood into the legs and lower back. The lower back actually got quite a good pump, so temporarily felt a little bit more stiff, but after about 30 minutes or so, I'd gained so much more in the way of freedom of movement. Like, my range of motion was a lot better, felt a lot more mobile. And a few hours later now, as I'm recording this, I feel so much better than I did first thing in the morning. From the front squats, I then did some lunges, and again, that's just to pump more blood into the lower back. Did some single leg hip raises, and I just sort of put my upper back on the bench press that I have, and just do one leg at a time. I keep the other leg out straight. I find they hit the glutes and hamstrings really well. And again, lower back has to play a role in stabilizing the area. So a bit more volume for the lower back in a beneficial way. And then just finished off with some very light, stiff-legged deadlifts at like 50 kilos. And again, it was just to, get a bit more mobility, especially through the hamstrings. Lower back, I thought would have felt it a little bit more, but really not too bad at all. So pretty productive session in that regard. I still want to try and get in a decent squat session either Friday or Saturday. It probably won't be with wraps, but it'll just be paused work. And I'm guessing my final heavy squat session, not ridiculously heavy, but heavy relative to me, will probably be on a Monday. And then that'll give me the rest of the week to recover. Tomorrow, I'll probably just do a very, very light bench press session, or I might even wait until Friday. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm sleeping a little bit more than usual, so that's going to help. And the other big thing is just getting calories in. Like, if you don't eat, you're not going to recover, especially as you progress in this sport. It's something that a lot of people really underrate. But if you don't eat, you're not going to be in an anabolic state, and it's really quite simple. So I try and, get good quality protein, hence the steak. And that was a massive steak as well, 750 grams. So I downed easily 1,000 something calories, along with 1.5 liters of fluids as well. So relatively big meal, but has everything I need. And I don't really bother too much with supplements apart from, protein powder occasionally. But even still, like, I'd rather just get my calories in the form of food. I also do have quite a fair bit of dairy, just because it agrees so well with me. And again, it's another quality protein source. So I prefer having over here the 1 liter high protein milks. So there's 60 grams in a liter. So I typically have that. I'll take, 2 or 3 mouthfuls, then put some chocolate topping in, put the lid back on, shake it up, and yeah, got myself chocolate milk pretty quickly and very, very cheap. So, I'll have that in the morning. Well, first meal for me is around 12 or 1 o'clock. So that's my morning meal, and I'll have like 3 or 4 bananas along with it. And yeah, that's sort of, a very basic guide to how I eat. I only have 2 set meals at the moment. which is one being the milk and bananas at that 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock mark. And the other one is in the evening. I'm trying to have a steak every day for the last 3 to 4 weeks. So got a little bit longer to go. And I just notice with red meat, I just recover really well. With chicken, it's not the same. And eating roast chickens now, like just the smell sort of puts me off. I've eaten too many of them in my lifetime. So it's sort of one of those foods that my body, as soon as I smell it, I get a negative feeling. Versus steak, I don't have that problem whatsoever, and I can eat far greater quantities of it as well. So when I'm, factoring in my comp prep, I purposely set aside money for the nutrition aspect of things, because eating huge amounts of red meat every day does add up. If you're a student or you're someone else in not as great a position, you could definitely go more with the mince, and I've done that heaps of times, mince and veggies, or mince and then have your pasta with it as well. And that's an easy way of getting carbs in. But for me, I'm just trying to go with the higher protein, higher fat. I find I sleep better if I don't carb load at nighttime. Otherwise, I just don't get a very good night's sleep. Red meat, on the other hand, I can eat as much of it as I want and eat until I'm full, and I'll always sleep really quite soundly. So they're just a few things that I've picked up along the way. If you guys have any questions about, training or nutrition, feel free to drop a comment below. Do my best to get back to you. And if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe. I'm going to continue making a fair few more videos. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent with my uploads. But until then, hope you guys have a great day and keep putting the work in.